All right, folks, we have been reading fairy tales, and we said that fairy tales are a very special kind of story that originally were not written down, they were told orally. And that means that one generation would tell the next. Maybe your great-grandparents told your grandparents told your parents told you, and then you would tell your children one day. And the stories would go from one generation to the next. And since they were told over and over again, sometimes the versions would get changed just a little bit, but there are some things that fairy tales typically have in common. We call them elements of a fairy tale. They usually have royalty, which is kings and queens. Usually they may have talking animals. Another feature is good versus evil. You're going to have a good guy against a bad guy in a fairy tale. And the good guy and the bad guy are usually pretty easy to pick out. Next, you may have magic. And finally, 3s and 7s. This means you may have something that happens 3 times, or something that is done 3 times, or something that is said 3 times, or maybe 7 of something, 7 times something happens, 7 times something is said, or 7 type of characters. The fairy tale I'm going to read to you today is called The 3 Little Pigs. And you may be thinking to yourself, oh, I know this one, but this is one of the original versions. That means that this fairy tale is hundreds of years old, and you probably haven't heard this version before. So I think you'll enjoy The 3 Little Pigs. Once upon a time, there was an old sow who had 3 little piglets. And since she was a very poor sow, she knew there was no way she could keep these. So as soon as they were old enough, she sent them out into the world to seek their fortune. As they were going along, the first little pig came across a man carrying a bundle of straw. And he said to the man, "Man, please give me that straw for a house." And as soon as the man did, the pig took the bundle of straw out into the field and built himself a house. Well, no sooner had he finished building his house of straw than who should come to visit but the wolf. He knocked on the door and said to the pig, little pig, let me in." To which the pig replied, "No, no, no, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." And the wolf answered, "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." So he huffed and he puffed and he blew with all his might, and down came the house of straw. And in the middle of that pile of straw was the little pig. And the wolf walked right up to him and gobbled him up. Now the second little pig was a bit smarter than his other brother. And as he was going along his way, he found a man carrying a bundle of sticks. And he said, "Man, give me that bundle of sticks so I can build a house." And as soon as the man did, the pig went into the field and built himself a house of sticks. No sooner had he finished than along came the wolf. And he said to the pig, little pig, let me in." To which the pig replied, "No, no, no, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." So he huffed and he puffed and he blew, and down went the house of sticks. And in the middle of that pile of sticks lay the little pig, and the wolf walked up to him and gobbled him right up. Now the third pig was the smartest of the 3. And as he was going along his way, he found a man carrying a load of bricks. And he said, "Give me those bricks so I can build a house, please." And as soon as the man did, the pig went into the field and built himself a house of bricks. No sooner had he finished than, little pig, let me in." "No, no, no, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." So the wolf huffed and he puffed and he blew with all his might, and nothing happened. So then again he huffed and he puffed and he blew with all his might, and nothing happened. This made the wolf very angry. But he wasn't just big and bad, he was also quite clever. And he said to the pig, "Little pig, I know where there's a field full of fresh, delicious turnips." "Where?" asked the pig. To which the wolf replied, "In Farmer Smith's field. And if you'll be ready tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, I'll come and take you there myself, and we'll gather the turnips together." Well, this pig was no fool. So since the wolf said he would come at 6 in the morning, the pig got up and left at 5 in the morning. And he got to the field of turnips, dug them all up before the wolf even arrived, and took them all home. Now when the wolf got to his house at 6, the pig said, "Oh, I've already been and come back again and have a nice pot full of turnips just simmering for my dinner." This made the wolf very angry, but of course he didn't let on. Instead he said, "Little pig, I know where there's a nice tree full of delicious red apples. And if you won't trick me again, I'll come at 5 in the morning and we'll go together and gather all those apples." To which the pig replied, "And where is this apple tree?" So the wolf told him it was in Farmer Miller's apple field. So, since the wolf said he would come at 5 in the morning, the pig got up and set out at 4. But he got so busy in the tree picking apples that he forgot what time it was, and along came the wolf. "Ah, you've tricked me again, you wicked old pig, and now you're trapped and I'll gobble you up." But this pig was clever, and he said, "Well, wouldn't you like an apple first?" And then he threw an apple out of the tree as hard as he could, way off into the distance, and the wolf went running after it. And as he did, the pig climbed down from the tree and ran home as fast as his little piggy legs would carry him. Well, the wolf was furious and went to visit the pig again and said, "Little pig, there's a fair tomorrow in town at 3 in the afternoon. Would you like to come?" To which the pig replied that yes, indeed he would. "Well, then I'll come and gather you up at 2 and we'll go together," said the wolf. But the pig left at noon and went to the fair. But once he was there, he was having so much fun, he got very distracted. He gathered up the things he had bought and hurried home as quickly as he could. But as he was going home in the distance, who should he see headed his way but the wolf? Before the wolf could see him, the pig jumped into a butter churn that he had bought, and the butter churn rolled down the hill and frightened the wolf so badly the wolf ran away, and the pig raced home. He hadn't been home for very long before he heard, little pig, I'm here to take you to the fair." "Oh, I've already been and come back again," said the pig. "Well, it was a scary place to be. I got chased away by a runaway butter churn." And of course the pig laughed and admitted that he was the one in the runaway butter churn who'd almost ran over the wolf. And this made the wolf so angry he couldn't even see straight. And he knew that huffing and puffing wasn't going to get him into that house, but he did notice at the top of the brick house was a brick chimney. And he knew that chimneys led down into the interior of a house. So he grabbed a ladder, climbed up onto the roof of the house, and laughed to himself as he started down the chimney. Now the pig had seen the wolf with the ladder, and he heard him climbing up the ladder, and he figured out what was going to go on. So before the wolf could come down the chimney, the pig rushed over and started a huge fire, and on this fire he put a big pot of water, which started to boil. And just as it got to boiling really well, guess who came down the chimney? The wolf. He fell right into the pot of boiling water. The pig clamped the lid on tight and boiled it and had wolf dinner. So, the pig lived happily ever after. And as I said, I bet you had not heard that version of the story. Now let's think about our elements of a fairy tale. Did we have any royalty? No. No kings and queens. Did we have good versus evil? Yes. The pig versus the wolf. Did we have any magic? Not really. Were there talking animals? Yes. And were there any 3s or 7s? There were 3 pigs. There were 3 houses. There were 3 tricks the wolf tried to play on the pig. So there were certainly some 3s, some talking animals, and good versus evil. And as we oftentimes see in a fairy tale, we saw once upon a time, and they lived happily ever after. So I hope you guys enjoyed that fairy tale, and next time I'll have another one for you, and we'll look and see if we can find the elements of a fairy tale in it as well. Bye, folks.